Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So, this episode was a disappointment to a large extent. There's only one good thing that actually happened in this whole episode. Before I get started, let me just kind of give you a little bit of background. So I started watching this show, let's say a couple of months last year, maybe June, July, give or take. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first started watching it, it was kind of weird for me. You know, I've been watching General Hospital for years. So jumping over into watching this show, it was a bit of an adjustment. And doing videos was somewhat difficult when I couldn't always remember the names of some of the characters. But as I watched it, and here's the thing, when I first started watching it, I watched it because General Hospital was, going on hiatus because of COVID. So I was like, let me just watch this or whatever, and I slowly started to, the show slowly started to grow on me. And it didn't become just a substitute until my other show came back on. It just became another soap opera that I enjoy watching. Even when I stopped watching it for a little bit and I was watching General Hospital, I always be sitting there thinking, man, what's going on in Salem? Like, what was happening to some of these characters? And that would have happened a lot. And finally, I was like, you know what? Listen, it's an extra hour. I already enjoyed the show. If I'm going to be watching it, I'm also sit there and do a review on it. So, to sit there and say that this show definitely grew on me is an understatement. And so watching this episode today, I was just like, I felt like I was partly about to fall asleep. I did. Vivian and, Yvonne and Vivian, I'm not gonna lie, it was, I don't know if they were trying to do, I felt like they were trying to, throughout this episode, there was, comedy skits that they were trying to do, and, it just didn't work for me. At first, Vivian didn't even want to, take the twins. She felt like she was too old to be sitting there doing that stuff. And, Yvonne just kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And finally, she just gave in. She gave in. She started sitting there thinking about the life that she was going to, be giving these children. And I'm not gonna lie, at first she was like, oh, your name's gonna be Stefan and your name's gonna be Jacob. And I'm like, you didn't tell her that one of them was a girl, right? Okay, cool. So she's going through these whole different scenarios and stuff like that, and finally she realizes it's a girl and she names her Stefan or something. And I'm just like, honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie, part of it didn't make any sense. Okay, she didn't like the name Jake when she first met him, and when she was talking about the twins or whatever, she also mentioned that she didn't like the name Jake. So why the hell would you name one of the boys Jake if you didn't like the name? I don't understand that, but whatever, sure. Now, outside of this place or the clinic or wherever this place is, the door seemed like it was for a clinic or an office or something, but you had Eli, you had Lonnie, I guess they were in a hotel or whatever. I think they were at the hotel. And Eli was like, oh, well, she can't be alive because she's dead, and we saw her die, and yada, yada, yada. And I wrote in my notes, I was like, why do they sometimes write these characters off as just stupid? And I know it's probably to, build suspense and stuff like that, but, how many times has this woman cheated death? How many times have people in Salem cheated death? So to hear him kind of just yammer on for a good 2 minutes of, oh no, it can be possible because she's dead, She died in front of a room of officers and they even signed a certificate. And I was like, okay. we're gonna do this, aren't we? But finally, he realized that there's a possibility she could be alive, and through Nicole's help, they find where she might be at. So they get to the place, and at first, Eli's about to kick down the door, but Lonnie's like, "Yo, we got our kids here. We can't be going in there guns blazing." So they wait outside for a little bit, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't really remember what else happened because I felt like I was partly falling asleep. But I don't know. I guess at some point they're about to go in. So I'm not gonna lie. I feel like when they open the door, they're gonna be in a completely different place. Like they're gonna open the door and they're not gonna be there. And whoever rung at the doorbell, where Vivian and Yvonne is gonna be a completely different person, and they're gonna stretch this out for, I don't know. I give it another 2 weeks. Another week and a half shelf life. Not gonna lie, if I spilled this water myself, I was not gonna redo this. Brady wakes up, and Chloe just pretty much gives him the lowdown on everything that does happen, as far as Kristen breaking out of jail, and Kristen threatening to shoot him, and yeah, so, Chloe pretty much tells him everything. Kristen was, came in with a gun. She broke out of prison. She threatened her. And, Brady's all like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And, it's added more years onto her sentence. And I'm just like, dude, Kristen is crazy. Those are the words that are coming out of your mouth. Not like, "Man, maybe I should get a restraining order." Because that's what most people would do. Most people would be like, "This chick is crazy. Maybe I need a restraining order." Nope. Not Brady. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Other than that, nothing really majorly happened with them. Oh, another attempt at comedy. Like, really, really, really bad comedy. Susan comes in, because, I don't know, they just needed it for the plot. Susan comes in, and, earlier Ben and Claire were sitting there talking, and Ben was like, "I think Sierra's alive," so they go to Marlena's, and, Susan is there, and she's, well, just acting like a damn nutcase, honestly. Ben comes in, and she starts acting all crazy, and then Marlena's like, "No, he's good, just like you're good when I treated you," so she toned down the level of craziness. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know her name, and I just called her a damn weirdo. Like, in my notes, I was like, Marlena and weirdo. Yeah, that works. So, honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie. Long story short, Marlena goes to the hospital. Ben gives Susan the nut job, the fortune cookie. And I'm not gonna lie. Listen, if you take this at face value, when Ben was like, "Oh, well, I was eating Chinese food, and a painting, in a picture of her and me just fell over, and I had this fortune cookie. Do you think it means anything? That you have a draft in your apartment?" Like, I'm not gonna lie, it just, I think that was more comical than whatever the hell it was that they were sitting there trying to do. Because if you just walk up to a rational therapist and you give them that story, and you sit there and say, "Well, there's a chance that my dead girlfriend could be alive because the picture fell over, and I have this fortune cookie with a note." Do you think that means anything? Yeah, it means something. So anyway, yeah, she leaves, and he gives her the fortune cookie. And then she acts like a nut again. I'm not gonna lie, I was partly getting kind of annoyed. I was like, okay, can she just stop shouting? And this isn't one of those things where it's like, I was just like drunk or have a hangover or anything like that. I was just like, she's getting annoying. But then she's all like, oh, well, Sierra's alive. She's now on the other side of the plane. She's alive. And I was like, okay, cool. So you got confirmation from a nut job. That's great right there. On the other side of town, or wherever the hell they are, whatever this guy's name is that I forgot, the Texan guy, the cowboy guy, I'm just going to call him the cowboy because that just sounds a lot more funner. Sierra's reading the book, Romeo and Juliet, and then she fakes like she's, I don't know, like got poison or food poison or something like that, and it takes a while because I'm just like, dude, if she's serious, then she can die and you're not going to get paid. I'm pretty sure that's important to you. You might want to open up the door. She hasn't stopped coughing, dude. Open up the damn door. So finally, he opens up the door and he checks around or whatever for his cell phone. And then Sierra hits him over the head with a tray. And I'm not going to lie, that tray looked like it was plastic. So I was like, okay, that made sense. Hopefully it was metal. That's the only thing I could sit there and say, hopefully it was metal. Anyway, she knocks him out, and then she stands over him, and she's like, well, I'm coming home. And I'm sitting there thinking, Sierra, why don't you just leave? Why don't you just check the coast, make sure it's clear, and just leave? Lock him inside. Leave. What are we doing? I have a feeling like tomorrow is going to be one of those things where it's like she turns around and she's about to leave, but then she can't because some other guy is there, or he wakes up and she's just too busy standing there making the story stretch out longer than it needs to be. I don't know. Sierra hasn't actually been with the main cast or whatever in a while, and I kind of want them to move that way a little bit faster. Just turn the wheels a little bit faster. That's what I'm asking for. And that was actually the most important part of this whole episode, is that Sierra escaped, or she is one and a half steps closer to escaping. So, yeah. Yeah. And honestly, to tell you the truth, that was about it. Everything else that happened was blah. Nothing excited to happen, and I'm kind of disappointed because even yesterday's episode was better than this episode, and I'm like, we're getting close to Cliffhanger Friday. Well, hopefully, I have a feeling like hopefully they'll save it and make this a lot more interesting on Friday's episode, because man, I felt like this episode was just taking too long, and I was just bored, and I felt like I was starting to fall asleep. And I had 8 hours of sleep, so that wasn't it. This episode literally started to put me to sleep. But yes, with that being said, I'm going to go. I think that's about it. If I missed anything, please let me know. Have a good day, a good night, depending on when you're watching this. Be safe. I will catch everyone in the next review.